You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. This is the brand new edition with 8K support. Yeah, that's the new thing, you know, like back in the days it was 4K, now we do have 8K. Yeah, right, I don't even have an 8K television, but... Oh, alright, so let's do a quick unboxing. So this thing is basically like an Android box. That's it, like... Let's see what we're going to get in here. We're going to get an extra SD card. We do have the power supply in here. It looks quite nice. HDMI cable. And here is the Android box. So this is a very tiny one. And I was really curious, like on the picture they showed the kin hang, and here you can see like that's the thing that they're doing, showing a very nice custom made thing. And I don't know what's going on over here. What you could see, like this is not original. That's a quite interesting design. So basically that, I think it's not original, this piece that they put between it. So kin hang with the logo and everything. We can remove this. So that's quite an interesting design. Yeah, I already said it a couple of times. Okay, USB 3.0, 2.0, we have RG45, we have the HDMI out, optical out. There is more like AV out, but this doesn't work. I can already tell you that. Then we have an input for 12 volts, but alright, let's plug this bad boy in because I'm really curious about it. And damn, this thing is heavy. Okay, so I told you already a couple of times this thing is quite heavy, so it weighs 214 grams, so that's not like super heavy. But let's do a quick comparison with the new X Pro. And here you can see like this cheap little plastic thing is only like 106 grams. So you know, like that's just a quick comparison and give you like an idea, like that's basically like twice the weight of the normal Super Console X. But they just did some modifications on here, and when it comes with a new version, they just added a fan. So yeah, they put the extra effort in, and I think they're like listening to the community. That we did have like a lot of issues with the older version, that we didn't have a fan and heat was not getting out of the case. In other words, it's actually possible that you go to like ruin your Super Console X, and they tried to basically fix this by adding a very interesting way to do this and a fan and adding their logo. Yeah, alright. But there was one thing I just need to do first. Okay, so other thing I've noticed, like the fan itself is like super quiet, so that's very good. Alright, let's get into the nerdy mode. And what you can see over here, we do get a similar specification that I've seen before. The Mali G31, that's basically the one that I've seen before with the different boxes. Yeah, this is the S905X3. So that means that we do have a little bit more power inside, but it is not like the major step up that we're waiting for. So I'm booting up. What you're going to get with this is of course the emulation that you can free to download. But this is the version 4.5. Alright, so but what does this thing support? So when it comes to the newer emulation in combination with the specs, we do have like a lot of new options. So take consideration Sega Dreamcast, stuff like that will run okay on this. It's most of the time on native resolution. But really old school stuff, yeah, you can already play that on the first generation of Super Console X versions. And yeah, there's nothing really special over here. I think the biggest change that we're going to get is that we're going to get a little bit better performance. But when it comes to PlayStation Portable, we're not going to have enough for that. So something I just want to point out. And overall, like I do love the layout they're using with this version. And yeah, is this thing absolutely a big upgrade of your previous phone model? I think it's a minor upgrade. Like Atomic Way, stuff like that needs to be running a little bit better now or don't have any problems. But most of the, let's say, echt really higher end stuff will not run perfectly. There is no PlayStation 2 if you're wondering. And 64 will still have their issues. But some games are more playable than with the previous boxes. So let's take a close look at some games and just to see how it will run. Okay, so with the first system I wanted to try 3DO. I know that is going to be quite interesting to play. Alright, always a challenge to find the keys that you need to use with this. So 3DO was a system that wasn't available to play in the previous, let's say, Super Console X. So I'm curious how this will run. Because still it's a very, let's say, underpowered box for a lot of systems. I can hear some crackling noise in the audio. So it will struggle with most of the three-dimensional games. See, that's the thing what I'm having with these devices. It's like the overall performance when it comes to the gameplay is pretty damn good, but when you're looking, or basically said, like listening to the sound, for me that's absolutely a deal breaker to playing 3DO on this. Okay, so next up I wanted to try, of course, my favorite game, Dead or Alive 2 on the Sega Dreamcast. But there is this weird thing going on sometimes that they didn't reconfigure everything like it should be, and that happens too. Like this happens, like you're just going to get the main menu, you play, you're going to get play, please insert game disc. The reason I show you this, not only because I'm pissed off that my favorite game and my benchmark game doesn't work, they don't check stuff, you know, like fun you slap a label on it, but check it at least, it doesn't freaking work. But you can still see that it runs not that great. Wow, I must say it's really awesome that it still has the vibration function. Alright. Oh.
A solid beginning may lead to a perfect ending. Go for it.
So far so good, no glitches whatsoever.
An aquatic adventure. Don't forget to take advantage of those subs. Let the battle begin. Go!
Alright, so let's try Dead or Alive 2 on Sega Naomi, and holy crap, this thing runs not great. No, not really. Oh man, this button layout is absolutely garbage. Oba! There we go. Alright, so next up, PlayStation Portable. And yeah, take generation games like God of War. Don't even mention, don't even try it like putting it on a box like this, because it doesn't even run at all. Like if you think about it, like an Nvidia Shield of almost like €250 have issues with it, so, or it runs now okay. But when you just want to have a casual game, they run way better than with the previous boxes. So still have an FPS counter, it dips down to 53, as you can see over here. But you can just see that it dips down, but an overall performance is not bad. The other downside to the PlayStation Portable is that we don't have this cool two-player function that we have with the Pandora's boxes. So these games, or basically like you can only play it with one player with the PlayStation Portable. But I just wanted to give you a quick look into the settings. So in the back end it runs on OpenGL. So we have like frame skipping enabled to 1. So here you can see like they did nerf the system. Otherwise it's just like freaking unplayable too. Yeah, so that's what you're going to get with cheap boxes. Yeah. Alright, so let's try this weird racing game. Oof. You can hear the audio have some struggles. Oh! You know, like Sega Saturn is this one of those like emulators are quite difficult to emulate on these cheap boxes. And this is not like the ultimate system that you can buy, you know. Oh, I find this so confusing game. This is not my game. Like the effects on the side are so annoying. This is like a very bad Wipeout clone. And I suck at this game. That's just a fact. Absolutely, yeah. But you can just hear the audio like stuttering all the freaking time. Alright, I can say like, it seems to be like this game is actually working on this. Don't say it too soon. Blow up the tank! Because this part is more demanding. Let's see. Well, what you can see over here is like, actually, it seems to be running just fine on this version. I have seen this struggle on so many superconducting devices, but it seems to be they finally nailed it today. Okay, so when it comes to the controls, I'm just gonna be honest, like, I really hate these things. Like, they're freaking garbage. I love myself the original Xbox 360 controller. Didn't try one out because I don't own a wired version. So that is maybe something I will need to try out in the future. But for now, this is one of my, basically like one of my favorite systems, controller systems. And yeah, combined with this version of the Super Conflict, it works. Oh crap, I'm messing it up. Wait, I'm going to do that again. Okay, so when you're looking at the case itself, they did improve it and there were some big improvements when it comes to the hardware. But I don't get it why they're still giving you these cheap PlayStation 2 chemical controls, because they smell freaking chemical. They don't feel very comfortable, especially with the D-pad. I don't understand it at all. So for me, this is not one of the worst ones, but that one's going in the bin. So I love myself the Xbox 360 controller. This is absolutely one of those best controls. You can plug it in your PC, but also in, let's say, a device like this with emulate or Bodacera, you know. And that's what I like about this. It's absolutely like very cool to play. The only downside to this thing is like there is no on and off switch. So when you plug in the power supply, it goes on and off. You know, like that's the only thing they need to fix. Alright guys, so this is what we're going to get in the inside, and basically it's the same stuff that I've seen before. The Amlogic S905X3, this is the chip they are using nowadays and many different devices. They're stepping away from the normal S905. The X3 is of course way more powerful, has newer Android, so we can also use different, let's say, versions of emulate, because the old version was like limited to 3.9. So here I'm going to get a RAM chip, so when it comes to the RAM and everything, it's not like super fancy, it's the same stuff all over again, only let's say, it's going to be the Pandora jungle all over again, only now we're going to call this the Super Conflict jungle. Same stuff all over again, only in a different casing. But they did improve the, let's say, the fan and the cooling. I must give them some kudos for like trying. Like this is absolutely an improvement when it comes to the casing, and also a very unique way. But is it like the best way? I don't know. Like when you're looking at the cooling element, it's very tiny, thin, it's wide and basically covers a lot of chips. And in combination with the fan, it will get like okay cooling. Is it enough in the end? That is something we need to find out, like using this thing for years to come. But it's always better, like the older model that have no active cooling at all. Personally, I don't get it why they keep like selling these crappy controllers, because this is part of the gaming experience. There are a lot of like good versions out there. I think the brand was Bylong, something I like already a couple of times made a video about, because that was an absolutely good controller and it was not like super expensive. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, let me know in the comments what you think of this, and it would be great to see you in the next video.